Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Weekly Reads where we give you 5 book recommendations all in one show. My name's Devon, I'm a librarian at the Worcester Public Library, just like my co-host Joy. Guess what, Joy?
What, Devon?
I'm going on a staycation for a few days.
Oh, lucky you. Not going anywhere, but you'll enjoy your time off, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. So most of the things Joy and I are talking about today you can get for free on the Overdrive or Libby app on your phone or device. You can also use Overdrive on your browser, on your laptop or desktop. And don't forget that we're doing physical pickup of items at the library. You can request titles ahead of time and come pick them up in print or book on CD, whatever you're interested in. And if you're not sure how to do that, just call the library and we'll help you out. So now I'm going to share my screen so you can see what books we have lined up for you this week. As usual, I'll do the fiction, Joy will do the nonfiction, and we have our coming soon title. For my first book, I chose A Song for a New Day. This book came out in 2019 and it was the winner of the Nebula Award. It was one of the most anticipated books of fall 2019 by Publishers Weekly. And even in 2019, it was being called a book that will help you survive the future. So just listen to this description to find out why. In the before, when the government didn't ban large public gatherings, Luce was on top of the world. One of her songs had just taken off and she was on her way. Now, in the after, terror attacks and deadly viruses have led the government to forbid concerts, and Luce's connection to the world, her music and purpose is closed off. She does what she has to, performing illegal concerts to a small community and evading the law. Rosemary barely remembers the before times. She spends her days helping customers order goods online for drone delivery with no physical contact or humans involved. By chance, she finds a new job, discovering musicians and bringing their concerts to everyone virtually. The only catch is that she has to do something she's never done before and go out in public, find illegal concerts and bring musicians into the limelight they deserve. But when she sees how the world could really be, it feels like that's not enough. In this book, the chapters alternate between the two main characters, Luce and Rosemary. And the coworker who recommends this says, if you love live music, you will thrum to the soul of this book. This book also got starred reviews from everybody, Publishers Weekly, Kirkus, Booklist, and Library Journal. Author Elizabeth Hand said, the book shares an unsparing vision of a near future world, which is kind of now for us, only a few degrees removed from our own, but has the audacity to leaven the darkness with hope. It's a powerful novel whose unforgettable characters channel humanity's true superpowers, art and the act of creation. This sounds like an amazing book. I'm kind of blown away that it really seems to predict what we're in now. And I love live music, so if you're the same as me, this sounds like a good one to try. And here's one from Joy.
Devon, this book is, the one you just reviewed, is just one of several novels that came out in 2019 or very early 2020 dealing with the idea of pandemic. So it's all pretty weird.
Yeah, it's a little spooky.
Yeah. Well, my first choice for this week is Hell in the Heartland, Murder, Meth, and the Case of Two Missing Girls by author and journalist Jax Miller. Okay, I know that the title and the cover are both pretty lurid, but the reviews were good. And Miller gives the reader everything the true crime lover, of whom I am one, might want. Murder, arson, missing persons, good boys gone bad, possible police corruption, definite police incompetence, a host of unsavory characters, meth labs galore, and an enduring mystery, all set against the backdrop of a haunting and haunted Midwestern landscape filled with rural poverty, abandoned mining towns awash in toxic waste, and lost souls left behind. I dare you, true crimers, to put this book down. On December 29, 1999, Ashley Freeman celebrated her 16th birthday at her home in Welch, Oklahoma, along with her parents, her best friend Gloria Bible, and her boyfriend Josh. When the festivities were over, Gloria stayed overnight, Josh went home, and the family turned out the lights and went to bed. Very early the following morning, neighbors reported that they'd seen the Freeman house engulfed in flame. And when the police arrived, they found charred ruins and the badly burned body of Ashley's mother, killed by a gunshot wound to the head. What they did not find was any trace of Ashley, Gloria, or Ashley's father, Danny. It says a great deal about the reputation enjoyed by Ashley's pot-dealing dad that the police immediately assumed that he had lost his temper, killed his wife, and absconded with the girls. That is, until family members, frustrated by what they believed to have been an inadequate search, combed through the wreckage and literally stumbled over the body of Danny Friedman. He too had been shot, and it stands to reason could not have been the murderer. So began an 18-year-long quest to find the answers to two lingering questions. Who murdered the Freemans? And where are Lori and Ashley? Over the years, there has been no shortage of theories, some more plausible than others. A vendetta by rogue cops with a beef against the Freemans? A drug deal gone bad? Perhaps Ashley's boyfriend killed her parents, then spirited her and Laura away. Maybe the girls themselves committed the crime and are actually alive and living large in Mexico or Panama City Beach. Unfortunately, a trail of missteps, missing documentation, and neglected evidence hindered progress toward resolution. Until, that is, a new team of investigators took over and in 2018 made an important announcement. No spoilers here. Of course, you could just Google the case and find out what happened next, or watch the 4-part documentary that recently aired on HLN. But no surprise, fellow readers, I prefer that you read the book, particularly if you, like me, devoured I'll Be Gone in the Dark, an account of Michelle McNamara's search for the Golden State Killer.
I think the book is always better than the movie or TV show.
I do too, or at least almost always.
Yeah. Okay, here's another fiction book. It's almost October. That means it's time to start talking about some scary books.
Ooh.
This is The Monster of Ellenhaven. And this book was a finalist in 2019 for the Shirley Jackson Award. And if you know anything about Joy and I, you know that we both really like Shirley Jackson. The book is called A Dark and Compelling Fantasy of Revenge. The city of Ellenhaven sits on the edge of the ocean, tormented by plague, emptied of industry. It's been left to die. But not everything dies so easily. Something stalks the city, shaped like a man, with a dark heart and pale fingers. A monster who cannot die. His frail master, Herr Leichenbloom, sends him on errands, twisting him with magic, crafting a plan too cruel to name. And all the while, the monster's heart grows colder and more cunning. These monsters will have their revenge on everyone who wronged the city, even if they have to burn everything to do it. The co-worker who recommended this to me said the book is short, dark, thrilling, and creepy, and it's perfect to read it in this time of year. It got a starred review from Library Journal, I got some other really interesting reviews. Grimdark magazine said the book is compelling, psychologically gripping, a tale of lust and revenge, told in parallel, twisting narratives that leave the reader sympathizing with the most horrible people imaginable. Author Margot Lanigan said the book is rotten with magic and shot with shafts of wicked humor. It's a perfect nightmare. So I think this book sounds really interesting. It's got humor, it's nightmarish. Obviously, it's got to be a little bit spooky. So if you're getting in the mood for Halloween, you might want to give this one a try. Here's one from Joy.
My next choice is Big Sister, Little Sister, Red Sister, Three Women at the Heart of 20th Century China by Jung Chang. Once upon a time, there were three sisters, one who loved money, one who loved power, and one who loved her country. That is what author Jung Chang was told while growing up in communist China in the 1960s and 70s. The story of the Sung sisters, Chang says, is true, but it is also the best known modern Chinese fairy tale. And it begins with the girl's father, Charlie Sung, who as a young man left his home in rural China, went to sea, fell in with a bunch of Christian missionaries from the American South, attended what is now Duke University, and returned to China to spread the gospel, marry well, become a rich businessman, hobnob with Chinese revolutionaries, and, most importantly, for our purposes, father 6 children, among them 3 remarkable daughters. With the possible exception of the aforementioned revolutionaries, Charlie Sung's life is the American dream transposed to a Chinese setting. All 3 of the Sung girls, Ailing, Big Sister, Chengling, Red Sister, and Meiling, Little Sister, were educated in America, and upon returning to China, became deeply involved in the effort to overthrow the Chinese monarchy and replace it with a democratic alternative. Red Sister married Sun Yat-sen, the man who, through a combination of determination, ruthlessness, and a little bit of spin, became known worldwide as the Chinese George Washington. After his death, she turned against her family, embraced communism, and eventually became a vice premier of the communist government under Mao Zedong. On the other hand, Little Sister married Chiang Kai-shek, World War II military leader and Mao's great foe, who upon his defeat by the Red Army in 1949, fled with his followers to Taiwan, where he became longtime dictator. Big Sister lived a quieter life, marrying a government official and amassing, through means fair and foul, vast sums of money in order to, she said, ensure the ongoing prosperity of her extended family. All these women were intelligent, courageous, strong-minded, and charismatic. None were mere appendages of their husbands, and none were saints. All negotiated, advocated, plotted, schemed, charmed, or cajoled when the need arose. And all experienced hardship and betrayal, triumph and joy over the course of their long, eventful lives. In the end, the last woman standing was Meiling, Little Sister, Madame Chiang Kai-shek, whose life spanned the entirety of 1 century and a small portion of 2 others. Little Sister, born in 1898, died at her home in New York in 2003 at the age of 105.
That's incredible to have a life that spans 3 3 generations.
Yeah. And you know, this is a great book for looking at Chinese history through a particularly interesting lens.
It sounds it. All right, well, now it's time for a coming soon title, but before I talk about it, I'd like to remind all of our viewers that if you enjoy our weekly reads videos, give us some likes and loves and share our videos with all your bookworm friends. Okay, here's coming soon title. We all remember Nick Hornby. I really liked High Fidelity with John Cusack. What about you, Joy?
Oh yeah, it was so much fun. Nerds, let's see, music-loving nerds.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's about.
All right, well, this book's coming out on September 29th on Tuesday, and it's one of the best books of this fall, according to People magazine. It's being called a wise and highly entertaining 21st century love story. Sorry, Joy, there's a little bit of romance in this. One of the main characters, Lucy, used to handle her romantic life according to the script she'd been given. She met a guy like herself, same age, same background, same hopes and dreams. They got married and started a family. Too bad he made her miserable. Now, decades later, she's a nearly divorced 41-year-old school teacher with 2 school-aged sons, and there isn't a script anymore. So when she meets Joseph, she isn't looking for love. She's more on the market for a babysitter. Joseph is 22, living at home with his mother, and working several jobs, including the butcher counter where he and Lucy met. It's not a match anyone could have predicted. He's of a different class, a different culture, and a different generation. But sometimes it turns out that the person who could make you the happiest is the one you least expect. This book got a starred review from Library Journal, but I liked what the Sunday Telegraph said. They said it's a charming and sharp love story about what it means to fall for someone who is your exact opposite. So I'm excited for a new Nick Hornby book. We do have a print copy in the catalog that you can place a hold on, and I expect that the Overdrive and Libby copies will be appearing shortly. But that brings us to the end of our episode for this week. Don't forget, if there's a recommendation you're looking for or an author read-alike, just post it in the comments below and Joy and I will see what we can do. Otherwise, thanks for watching.
See you later, fellow readers.